Maybe that's what that was all about.
You, you think about this album, how many songs are we in now? Like songs.
We're on 5.
Well, we're track 5, but like you think about the first 2
I
are not
remember
really.
now it's not real.
Yeah, and then Anarchy X is more of an instrumental. So this is the third song, lyrically.
You look at this, you're into 3 songs. X is like it's an instrumental. It's spelled out a story, and none of the music's crappy to do it.
Yeah,
like it's all just amazing music. And it ties in with these lyrics that sets a story. And you know how hard that had to be to write, like not only write like lyrics to make a story, but to write excellent music to go along with it. Like so far, and even in my opinion through the whole album, but like there's never like that song you want to fast forward through like, this song sucks.
Yeah.
Like every song is great. Exactly. Every single song. You might have your favorites, but there's not a song on there that's bad. And to me, that's what just makes this album like genius. Is how do you do that? Like, how do you come up with these lyrics and this story and write phenomenal music from beginning to end and go?
Well, not to have a clunker. I mean,
yeah.
And I noticed
just about every album you get has a clunker.
Yeah.
This in Speak, I noticed the harmonizing was pretty amazing too.
Oh yeah.
That's you hear that a lot on this album.
Yeah, and that's something that they were kind of known for. I mean, they always had great, harmonizing, and it's kind of like Def Leppard. You got that sound that they had. Queensryche had their version of it.
So this is Mike McKay. He chimed in and said on the official video, this bootleg that somebody uploaded to YouTube doesn't have it, but your point was right about him diving through the glass or whatever.
Gotcha.
I knew my VHS tape had that on it. And I knew them guys. I don't remember them. I remember them guys telling me they were like, dude, it looked he dove like straight through the screen and this glass shattered. And I remember them telling me that. And of course, I guess it looked really cool back then, but with the technology today, imagine what they could have done with it.
Oh yeah.
Imagine the stage show they could have done today with this.
Oh yeah, I can imagine it. It would be explosive today.
So, guess do y'all want to roll? And anybody got anything else to say about this song, or does everybody feel pretty much just another kick-ass song on the album?
Yeah, I think it really shows more of like, building him up and showing like the assassin side of him, and it to further along, the story of it here.
All right, so you want to roll into the next song, Wes? Spreading the disease.
So there's a line in that song that I really like. Manipulate the people for the money they pay, selling skin, selling God. The numbers look the same on the credit cards. I thought that was a pretty slick line there.
This happens to be my favorite. This is my favorite song of the album. I don't know if it's just because it's so upbeat, but this is where, Mary comes into play.
Yeah.
Story. She was a prostitute, and then Father William takes her in, and of course, this is easily today. He takes her in to save her because her life sucks. And what he do? He's there. He's there taking advantage of her. He's there screwing her.
Yep.
So, I mean, how many times have we heard that happen? That's still going on, but. He finds a weak girl, and he's supposed to be a Christian man, and then look at what he's doing.
Yep. Yeah, because that makes him no better than the things that she was doing, before. So.
Right.
Yeah, and
once again, these lyrics, what a great song, and then continuing with this story to great music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How to create the character of Mary. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I like that how they worded. You know, he takes her once a week on the altar like a sacrifice. You know, he's I don't know, pretty much raping her. You know, getting what he wants out of it. You know, and it's like that's causing even more mental issues in her head because of what she came from, where she was going, and then what he's doing to her. And that's got to be like super confusing. When you're going from, you think you're bettering yourself, and then yet you're having people take advantage of you at the same time. So,
right. And you take that line, like you just said, and go a line before that. It says her eye, her eyes as cold as ice. He takes her on the altar once a week like a sacrifice. So
yeah,
he paints the picture of her while he's doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me, it's just I can't imagine trying to sit down and write something like that and be successful.
Yeah. Yeah, and it takes a good songwriter to be able to throw this out there. And I know a lot of the other guys kind of worked on these songs together with him. It's not just all him. So, and I was looking down through here. It looks like DeGarmo wrote some with him, and then Wilton. So it was mainly, I guess, the three. You got one, Scott Rockenfield, but mostly it's DeGarmo and Wilton that helped write the songs with him. So, yeah, well, that's what I'm saying with Tate.
Yeah.
It helps load the song. The song is help loading up as far as the storyline. You feel like you're reaching that apex. You're starting to get you're building and you're building and you're building. And
well, it's like it's like when you watch a movie, you're getting introduced to characters, and they're building these characters up, letting you know about these characters.
Yeah.
Right. And what was I going to say? My memory's terrible. I just had a point I was going to make. Of course, now it's gone.
Welcome to old age, pal.
Oh my gosh, you're telling me. Oh no, what I was going to say was, how would you like to? I would love to have the scrap pieces of paper while they were writing this album, and see all the lines marked through and the new words put in. Can you imagine sitting in a room trying to write this song and write these lyrics out, and then no changing it? And you know what I'm saying? Wouldn't you like to have that?
Oh yeah,
well, yeah. Just the whole concept.
I'd just like to see it.
Yeah. Because I mean, they can't be easy albums to write because there's a limited, metal, even as far as metal albums that we know of, like maybe the Crimson Idol, the Heroin Diaries. I mean, there's a small amount of concept albums out there.
Oh yeah,
right.
Well, we looked at Queen of the Murder Scene. We wrote that, or we went through that album, and right there's another prime example of how we really dove into that album and really broke down the lyrics, and that's a solid written album in itself. So there's a few people that can do it, and the ones that can do it are being showcased. That they're the ones that are doing it well enough that it's being recognized at a high level.
Anybody else got anything? Wes, you got anything to say about him? Looks like he's muted. You want to talk about?
Yeah, I'm with Mike. It's one of my favorite ones on the album.
And was there a video done for that one too? Was that because that was one of the ones that got released, wasn't it?
I don't know if that one was or not. Did they release? I saw 3 videos off this album. Does that sound right? Anybody know how many? I'm thinking
I was
3.
trying to go. All right, says singles. It says singles for this one, Eyes of a Stranger and I Don't Believe in Love. So maybe that's the only 2 that they actually released off of that one. I was thinking that they did a couple more off of that one, but I guess maybe not. I don't see. I printed out the thing for what was on Wikipedia, and all it shows is just the singles, and that's all it says. It didn't say anything about videos on here.
And
that's all I got to say about that.
Well, that just goes on to, like, we've said, I mean, that explains, why he's all jacked up on heroin and why he's doing this stuff and why they're doing this, explaining more of, the story. Where we're really getting in depth in all that.
The mission starts out when, he's like, kill the priest, and he's like, kill Mary as well. No, kill Mary, and he's like, get the priest as well.
Yeah.
And that's when he's to start developing feelings for Mary. And then he says, "Forgive me, Father, for I've sinned." And we hear him racking around, and he shoots. And he kills her, the priest. He kills William. Yeah. And it never, then him and Mary kind of do their thing in the song, but he doesn't ever kill Mary. Who kills Mary? That's my question.
I think
Mary gets killed, but I don't think it ever says by who.
Does she get killed?
Suicide. I think she shoots herself.
Okay, I know she dies.
I just thought she just disappeared, like she just left the scene.
No, I think she died. I'm almost positive she dies.
All right,
so they don't ever say who.
I'm gonna read what it says on the Wikipedia. So this is somebody's opinion, somewhere along the line. But so it says, through his friendship and growing affection towards Sister Mary, Nicky begins to question the nature of what he is doing. Seeing that Dr. X has his own nefarious agenda, the mission, Dr. X takes notice and seeing a potential threat in Mary to his cult of personality, orders Nicky to kill both her and the priest. Nicky goes to Mary's church and kills the priest, but after confronting Mary, he fails to comply with the command to murder her. And then for the next song, Sweet Sister Mary, it kind of, I guess, carries over.
Right.
Maybe we'll leave it at there, and then I'll read the rest of it when we get to the next song. How about that? And then,
all right.
So yeah, let's do that, and then that way we'll kind of see what that part of it's saying. So yeah, but like you said, he does kill the priest, and he goes and talks to Mary, and then that's kind of where you get that, back and forth, kind of with them.
Now with this song,
which you'll hear more of that back and forth with in the next song, Sister Mary, Sweet Sister Mary.
Sister Mary, where him and Mary go back and forth. Yeah. I like there at the beginning of the mission when he's like, "Forgive me, Father, if I've sinned," and then you hear the gunshot, and it takes out, he takes him out. You know?
I kind of like how they did that in some of the songs. They kind of give you like little, like snippets from a movie or something. You hear like little, like you said with the gunshot, and you kind of get more. You feel like you're part of that story a little bit more,
Right. And once again, how smart, you know what I mean? Just with a couple sentences, they paint a picture in your mind. You know what I mean? You see what's going on in your mind.
So on YouTube, the Sweet Sister Mary shows it's the official video. So apparently that was released, because not all the other songs on this say anything about official videos.
Well, that's kind of weird, because I don't know that they ever released that officially. According, like I said, it only shows that they released, what I say was, I Don't Believe in Love and Eyes of a Stranger. So
Sweet Sister Mary's the one that Mr. Marsteller made us cut it off. With that chanting at the beginning, he goes, "Hey, y'all cut that stuff off now." He thought we was satanic.
Yeah, I'm just picturing how that went in his class.
But that was, I remember that was my first introduction to this album, was Mike putting that in that was one of the little tape recorders you hit the buttons, and he wanted me to hear this album so bad, and he played it, and I remember that was like one of the first songs, and then we had to cut it off. But anyway, that's kind
of cool. That's the cool thing about music. It's like there's always can put you at a time and a place, and that's what you'll always remember about this album. and that's the cool memory.
Yeah.
I just wish I had the talent that Randy has. I remember exact dates, what time, and all the little details of everything when he bought certain albums and where he was when he heard that certain song or whatever. I just wish I had that recollection that he has, because my brain doesn't function like that anymore.
Yeah, I don't have quite that much memory as what he as detailed as his.
Yeah, it's crazy the things that he remembers about certain events and what he was doing and what he was wearing. Sometimes it's crazy.
But another thing that was cool about this is we're getting this story, and we really only have a couple characters, but it's still an awesome story. Well, we've got we've only been introduced to 4 characters the whole time.
Let's see, we got Nikki, Dr. X, you got Mary, you got
the priest.
Yeah, I guess that's
it.
Yeah, that's it.
But how awesome is this story? That's
yeah.
I mean, I know Tom Hanks done it with a soccer ball, but I mean, but still, I mean, that's another thing that's cool about this. If you've got this big of a story with just 4 characters, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hoffenstring, answer my text. I just need a yes or no.
Yes, that would be correct.
Holy fucking cow!
You are correct.
Okay.
All right, so we'll get into Sweet Sister Mary here. We'll flow into that. You want to talk about anything before I start reading the rest of this paragraph? I don't ruin anything that might have been wanted.
I should have left my phone alone.
My text, Mike. I'm sorry, I don't have your number to.
You're good. It's all good.
But I guess the mission. So you want to go string? You want to just maybe what you did on that? Introduce, I guess, Sweet Sister Mary with what you got.
I'll finish reading that then. So he said he loves Mary and decides to leave the organization with her. So Nikki goes to Dr. X to tell him that they are out. Dr. X, however, reminds Nikki that the alternative is to go back to his bleak life as a self-loathing but helpless addict, which goes into Needle Lies. I was thinking it read something.
But Sweet Sister Mary, I mean, that's a good song.
Yeah.
But it looks like you said, this one's another one by DeGarmo and Tate. And I mean, it just looks like to have all this. What I'm wondering, when you do a concept album, do you reckon they had a song and now they're writing around this one song? And are they jumping around, or?
I'm sure like the whole process, there's probably, an overall picture of what they want to do and how they want to break it down. And I'm sure they're probably writing parts of the story and then going back and changing other parts to kind of flow better. And I'm sure it's kind of broken out over or spread out over all of the whole concept, I guess. And then it's probably broken down into individual story parts and then, or chapters or whatever you want to call it. And then probably tweaked around to make it, fit better. And I'm sure, lyrically it was changed a lot, to make the verses flow and, to make it, work as a song, but just the I don't know, the whole thing, and as a whole puzzle, it's like each individual piece all comes together and it works perfectly. So that takes true talent there.
I would guess that it was almost written as in here's the story, and to your point, Chris, then it was really honed in. But I bet all of it was written, all of the lyrics were written with the exception of tweaks, and then music was put to it.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that Jeff probably had a basic story, bits and pieces, and it was probably like they may have sat down to a table, or maybe he had most of it written. I don't know, but you know, I'm sure it was there, and then, like I said, broken down and then tweaked around and played around, and then writing the music and kind of putting the music part of it into, so you feel like that's part of the story and how it flows, and making it work like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like you can hear them sitting around talking about it and saying, well, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we did this? Or, hey, why don't we change this and do this instead? Wouldn't that be cooler? You know what I mean?
Well, it's just like on Sweet Sister Mary, you know, adding the female lyrical content part of, you know, with her in the song, you know, talking, like you get that conversation back and forth, you know, and that, I think that was a nice touch on that song. I mean, you didn't really get that
in Mindcrime when they did that song. They had some female singing that part. You know, they didn't just have have her voice added in like up on the jumbotron or what do you want to call it back then, the screen with somebody. But they had this girl come out on stage, and her and Jeff Tate are going back and forth singing to one another. You know.
And it says on here that Pamela Moore was who played the part of Sister Mary. So I'm going to look her up and see. That name doesn't sound familiar, but I'm going to see if, like, she was somebody that was, you know, part of another group or.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know anything about her. Even when I saw her, she's got an incredible voice, but.
All right. So according to this, hey, this is on Wikipedia, so it's got to be true. It says an American singer-songwriter mixing hard rock, heavy metal, melodic rock, and industrial music, while her earlier years delved into pop and electronica. So she was actually on the. So it says that she was on the Mindcrime. So she was the one that was in the video, or like the live.
I know the live stuff where she's singing with Jeff on the Mindcrime that's incredible. It's just another one of them things that goes along with it that just makes it greater.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about her, Mike?
I don't know a thing about her. And I actually, the other morning, I was looking some stuff up before the show, and I had seen some of that stuff about her, and I'd never heard of her or anything, but I'm with you. Her voice is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their voices go well together.
And when she sings with him in Mindcrime in this song, you know, she's like passionate and she's really selling. She's really selling her character. She's selling her character to him on stage.
It's like a Broadway play almost, I think, like a heavy metal Broadway play.
Except better.
It's funny you said that.
Yeah.
Would this not be a good play on Broadway?
Oh, it would be, most definitely.
If I'm going to go see a play at Broadway, this is going to be it.
Yeah. Well,
hey, maybe in the town of Broadway.
Well,
yeah. Oh, yeah. That'd even better.
Like Beers and Brews or whatever.
Beers and Broad. We can do some acts. Go and see concert, concept album concert, and then get some pizza.
No.
Well, Jeff, you know, didn't they do the Heroin Diaries on Broadway, or wasn't there talk of it or something?
Well, there was big talk of it, and I think when they got back together and did this tour, and then COVID and all that, and I don't know if the idea got scrapped or I'm not really sure. I was excited about that also, but I thought that would have been
a cool one, because that was a great concept album, I thought.
Yeah, I did too. But like I said, there's only a handful. And,
but anyway,
this is one of the first ones. It's probably the first one that I ever remember hearing. So we got looks like the next track we got is the Needle Lies, which there's a song still relates to today. You know how powerful addiction is, and what String was saying earlier. You know about the addiction. You know, him going through with the mission just because he wants more. You know, and that's the only way he can get any more heroin, you know, is to carry out that mission.
Yeah, this song too is another one of my favorites. I really enjoyed this song too, and I like, the never trust the needle. Don't ever trust the needle; it lies. And
it lies.
Yeah, and it when the needle, when it cries your name. Don't ever trust the needle; it lies. That's so true. I've never done anything like that, but I can imagine that, seeing other people, in my life that have had addictions and hearing their stories, that speaks very loud right there.
Oh yeah, it rules their life.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all they care about at that point. And this song, he really portrays that message. You know what I mean?
And this, really, this would be a good, just alone. This song alone by itself, would be something that a lot of addicts would really, agree with, and just, that, like, the lyrical content of it, I'm sure it would really hit home base.
Well, certainly their family members, if they did.
Yeah. If those people were, because a lot of those probably either, overdosed or whatever.
But, or not, it's not a problem. It's just fun.
But I did find on here on this thing, I just overlooked this whole sentence here. So it says that Nikki leaves conflicted and uncertain, and he returns to Mary only to find her dead, which leads into the Electric Requiem song. And then it says Nikki cannot cope with the loss, as well as the possibility that he himself may have killed her without knowing it. But it says it was later revealed on the Mindcrime and More DVD that Mary killed herself after Dr. X threatened to kill Nikki.
All right.
So it says, and he begins to succumb to insanity. So that's kind of where I guess it's kind of left open, maybe for you to figure, create your however you turn out. But
and I've got really, I don't know why I have a big question mark under that song, but I did put that I love the guitar work on that song.
Yeah, I mean, when you got, I can't think of the other guy's name right offhand, Wilton. When you got those two guys back and forth, they play off each other really well. I mean, yeah, but you got a lot of those bands that are, like that duo that feed off each other and play well with, off each other. And that's another tag team right there that did a very good job of it.
Yeah, and I mean, even with what you was talking, I think Hardesty said something earlier about the bass playing in one song, and right there's another piece of that talent that's just you just take it for granted because the guitar works so good, but it's kind of like Michael Anthony playing behind Eddie Van Halen. He kind of gets overlooked because the guitarists are so good, but he's still a big important part of it. The bass player is.
Well, and then too, you got, Jeff Tate up there singing, he's got such a powerful voice, and, he stands out, and you got the guitar work underneath that. And then it's like, by the time you throw out all the layers, you're looking at, well, the poor bass player, he's not getting a whole lot of love because, his volume is a little bit lower, but it's there. You can hear it, but it's kind of undermined, because of everybody else.
Yeah, because the rhythm section is still holding the whole song together.
Absolutely.